I'm Gerry. I'm 72, and I'm your first ever Golden Bachelor. What I hope is that I can look at one of those women and know that I've found the right person.
Gerry, he's kind of become the kissing Golden Bachelor bandit. He was really kissing up a storm. Hi, Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
Hey guys.
Oh my gosh. Can we sum it up? Love pickleball, a faked injury, a steamy hot tub, and a feud squashed, and one of the funnier, snarkiest ladies getting sent home.
I was really bummed about that one. All right, so let's start at the beginning.
All right.
Yeah. So
Episode 4.
All right, so it all starts out, we're in the home, and someone comes in. Tristan, the original bachelorette, the
Trista
Sutter, who married that beautiful fireman in Colorado, she comes in and says, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to read who's on the group date," and everyone's like, "I never get a one-on-one. I just want a one-on-one." And everyone's name is called except for our hometown gal,
Leslie Fema.
Yes, and so they have been told they're going to play pickleball. Some of them have done it, some of them haven't. And that was very funny.
I loved it.
They had to come up with their own pickleball names, which I thought were hysterical.
Kitchen.
Okay, Picklicious Paddles.
Picklettes.
The Picklettes, and then the Pinky Dinkies.
Yeah.
I mean, the dinking thing in pickleball is really something that everyone has fun with.
Brittany, were you having deja vu with the pickleball angle?
I was worried you guys were triggered.
We're the champions. We can't be triggered by pickleball anymore.
I did love Sandra said, never played pickleball, but if Gerry plays with us, I would like to dink him or dougal him or whatever it is.
Yeah.
She has 2 fake knees and she's 75 years old.
I love Sandy.
I do too.
I hope Gerry, I don't think he's truly realized how great she is.
Agreed. And when she was like on her deathbed and no one acknowledged it.
Well, she's lactose intolerant. She had gas.
Okay, so
she had gas.
go.
That's why she said it when she was eating ice cream. Who would have thought that it would be such a spicy never have I ever 2 game?
Okay, so let's just go back. So the pickleball game happens.
Yeah.
We've got the people who win are,
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's the pickleball lady who, that's her job. When her title comes up, she's a pickleball co-captain in Florida. So I knew pretty much, I was like, God, her team's going to win. And it did.
And it did. And I think Gerry likes her.
Yeah, I do too, but I loved when April fell so she could cuddle. I was like, that's some serious game.
She didn't want to play.
Yeah, I know.
She totally just tipped like.
I don't know why I didn't think of that last week. Good thing I didn't.
Of you, Lori, when she was on the ground, I was like, that's such a Lori move.
I know. But anyway, that was fun. And then who knew that there was a magazine called In Pickleball?
I did, and I told you guys about it, but you didn't want to listen because you hated everything pickleball before last week.
Well, maybe we should submit our video. Brittany, what do you think?
I think so.
Of our game.
We should. You do it, Lori. Okay, so first of all, before we even get into it, our very own Steve Patterson reminds me of Jesse Palmer. They're one and the same, I've decided after watching that. Doesn't he look just like him?
Steve Patterson has way more charisma.
But I'm just saying there's this resemblance. No,
that is a diss.
No, I sent it to him.
Brittany, you think that's a diss?
He said Donna thought the same thing.
It's a little bit of a diss.
Yeah. I didn't mean it as a diss.
Yeah, Jesse Palmer is his,
I'm liking him more this year.
Because he's had a little bit more maybe to do. I don't know. He's just very benign.
I never meant it as this. I was talking about the muscles. Because Steve showed us all of his muscles in his sleeveless shirt in the pickleball championship last week.
I could see that. And the fitting of the clothes.
Yeah. Okay, now let's get to the one-on-one date. As if Gerry wasn't in enough, sending him on the 405 in an old convertible with no lights, sending him out on an ATV,
They're easy to drive. I'm sorry.
Okay, that was rough-looking terrain.
Brittany? I don't think they were going over 10 miles an hour.
It's so easy. I'm sorry. Right. They blew that out of the proportion that it was so tired.
They both have hearing aids. They could have bounced out.
They don't. Hurry. Have you ever driven an ATV? You drove a motorcycle for crying out loud.
No, I know. I'm just saying that Gerry didn't seem ATV like he really knew what he was doing.
No, he said, I love doing ATVs. He was the first one who said it to
Lisa. Or what's her name?
Liza?
Leslie. Leslie. Good Lord. That is not a diss.
Lisa, Liza, Leslie.
Okay, but let's talk about who thought Gerry would have a tiger or a lion tattoo on his arm.
I know. I didn't see that coming.
I'm like, and then the random hot tub in the champagne.
I wrote that down. I was like, Bachelor 101 is having a hot tub where no one would ever have a hot tub.
That's right. It just was appeared on a trailer. And then the way when he was making out with Leslie, but he was hanging on to the side of the hot tub like he was looking for the jets, trying to make the bubbles go. You go back and watch it.
He didn't want anyone to see what was happening in the tub?
I don't know. He was afraid to put her all the way in his arms, but it seemed like they had a good makeout session.
Okay. I don't feel the connection, though. Even though I think he is really sexually attracted to her, I still don't feel like when he's with her, I don't feel like what he feels with Ellen.
Because she's the coldest woman in the Golden Bachelor house, you guys. You can't get a feel for her.
Yeah. You agree with that, Brittany?
Yeah, I do. I feel like she's not into the process, but I do feel like after this last date, she's going to be showing up. She's going to clock in because I think she's competitive.
Okay, well, maybe that will be because we've gotten to know the other ladies.
We have, and I think the other ladies have more friendships together than she
seems like she's the odd person out. So when she confessed to Gerry that she hadn't been in a she'd had relationships, but she hadn't really been in a relationship for 22 years, I just thought, well, sometimes you're busy with kids and sometimes you've been hurt and you keep people at a distance.
But then she also said she's never been in one with any man. She's never felt like she was loved or something. She said something else very dramatic.
A very red flag.
Yeah. Very dramatic. Not only have I never been in a relationship, but I've been in like a million. And then I've never felt loved in my 2 marriages.
And it's not a good sign when you're saying your best relationship is with your kids. And don't get me wrong, you should be close with your kids, but that shouldn't be compared.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so let me just summarize. Yeah. Those were 2 very exciting dates, a pickleball and an ATV ride. The ATV was not threatening. She got to hold on to him.
Right. But they didn't show much, so obviously they were just go out and ride around till we get the hot tub towed in.
Look around this corner of weeds and gravel pit. Someone shipped
just right up that way and turn around and come back, and then we're going to set up a place for you to change into your swimsuits.
Oh, that's so
The funniest game was Never Have I Had Ever with pints of ice cream. Mm-hmm. Some of the questions were just absolutely hysterical, I thought.
How could someone of these ladies' age, and I'm talking about Kathy, the one that resembles Caitlyn Jenner, never have had sex in a car? I loved April's...
She's tall. She's very tall,
okay,
Lori.
but she's 70. My God.
She might not have had a minivan.
You don't need a minivan. Look at April. She said she did it on the front seat, the back seat, and the steering wheel.
I thought that was funny.
I'm 5'10", and I've even had sex in a car.
Yes, thank you, Brittany.
You don't need a minivan.
Yeah. I was shocked by that, but it was fun. And then never have I ever had sex with a woman. And then we had someone who did. And I thought it was, I was pleasantly delighted with the questions and the answers.
They were hysterical. And then while they're doing that, Sandra, who was 75, says, I shouldn't be doing this. I'm lactose intolerant. So we see it.
And she missed her daughter's wedding. Is that a red flag, you guys?
No. Her daughter and her talked about it.
Okay, Brittany, what do you say?
I was shocked.
Same.
Because he's so obsessed with
family.
He claims to be with family.
Yeah.
And so that seemed like a red flag.
Yeah, same. I wondered if he is now, because I don't think he understands how great Sandra is. She's gorgeous. She's 75. She's fun. But when she said she was missing her daughter's wedding, and then you know how I consoled myself, Brittany? It's her daughter's second or third marriage.
That's what I figured, you guys.
I was thinking that.
I totally was.
Yeah.
And she's like, Mom, you get this chance. I'm sorry that it coincides.
Yeah.
I didn't even tell anyone, basically.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care. It was.
So that's what we're going to say. That's our story.
It felt a little weird when we lowered the bar that him allowing a FaceTime call was some grand gesture.
Yes, like he came up with it, but it was hysterical that they couldn't figure out how to do it. And that was genuine.
That was real.
I can relate.
Yeah, that was a very fake scripted part of that episode.
My favorite, we got to take a break, but when we come back, zip it. Just zip it. We'll get to that.
The feud.
We're talking the Golden Bachelor on My Talk.
Oh, Gerry, you know what I made? Casey's now watched the show two weeks in a row, but I said to his daughter last night, I said, have you watched The Golden Bachelor? And she said, I hate The Bachelor. I haven't watched it in several seasons, or The Bachelorette. And she's, mid-30s.
Right.
And I said, well, just give The Golden Bachelor a try. Well, of course, she loved it. And one of the things that she said was, it's like, yeah, one day I hope I get to be 62 years old or whatever age. And if something, God forbid, happened and I was widowed or, I like to see that, there's all this life ahead of you, because so much of aging has been portrayed in movie and TVs as ending at a certain age. And you don't ever see anybody be real. We have a little bit on the Housewives, with some women, that they've done a good job of having women in their 50s and 60s, but the love word came out last night. The L word.
Okay, before we get to that, let's go back to just snippet. So,
the feud.
So Kathy, who we think looks kind of like Caitlyn Jenner, you cannot see it once you point it out to me. Can you see that,
They're
Brittany?
twins. They're doppelgangers.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we have a Kris Jenner too.
Yes, Susan.
Yeah.
So Kathy takes Teresa out, and Teresa's the woman missing a neck. I mean, this is just the way to qualify to have this conversation.
She had the first date with Gerry when he almost killed both of them in the convertible.
With no headlights.
No headlights.
Mm-hmm.
They have a real connection, though, Gerry and Teresa. She's one of the hometowns.
So Teresa always uses every opportunity to tell everyone she had the first date. Gerry came up to my bedroom last night. Gerry likes me. Gerry kissed me. She's a kiss and teller.
But she's annoying.
She's annoying.
And
Kathy, who's brassy and ballsy, and we love her, just says, come with me out here. Let's just have a conversation.
This started last week, and then it continued because Teresa had to bring it up. Said, Kathy, come out to the pickleball court. I want to make sure everything is resolved. Teresa might be 70, but she acts like she's like 20. With her mindset, because it didn't need to be brought up again. And Kathy's like, what? I got to explain to you again that you just don't.
Oversharing is uncomfortable to the rest of us.
Well, particularly, she only spoke for herself.
Right, she did.
To me, she only spoke for herself, which is the correct way to do it. But, Teresa was just kind of being dense.
And then she goes and tells Gerry.
Well, she said, snip it.
Zip it.
Kathy
she said snip it.
She said snip it.
But Teresa tells Gerry zip it.
Zip it.
She flipped.
Yeah, okay. Well, however, but it's flipped. But I'm pretty sure that Kathy, I thought she said snippet, but whatever. Teresa goes and tattles and says, Kathy came and talked to me about blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, I'm bored with the story and I've seen the whole thing. And poor Gary's trying to pretend like he's interested. She goes, and then Kathy told me to zip it. And I thought, and he goes, what? And I thought, this all feels so orchestrated.
Yeah. And
what did you think?
Very classic Bachelor to kind of turn the Bachelor on each other.
Yeah.
But Teresa did it.
Well, she was annoying with all of her schoolgirl mooniness.
But then Kathy goes to Gerry, and Gary's like, I'm really uncomfortable. I was really disappointed to hear that one of the women in the house would talk to another with that level of
respect. So he didn't even say the line right. He meant to say disrespect, but they kept coaching him. And he said, I've never heard anyone talk with the level of respect. And I thought, okay, this coaching session behind the scenes did not go well because he meant to say disrespect.
Yeah.
So I think he gave Kathy a rose last week because the producers wanted this to happen. And they're like, don't worry, you can get rid of her the next week. Because he's just like, I'm not having any connection with her. But she was funny in the house.
She was.
Yeah. There was another classic Bachelor moment that we have to talk about. It's when Ellen says, I'm falling in love with you. and then the Bachelor immediately kisses them,
Yes.
so they don't have to answer.
That's right. And we've seen that in every iteration.
Okay, but wait a minute, because
That's what you do. That's what you do. Haven't you ever said that to the wrong guy at the wrong place? You said it before, and then they always come in for the kiss because that's what you do.
Okay, but don't you think? I feel like he has a true connection with Ellen.
Julia, they've only known each other for weeks.
So I know it, but everything's elevated
I know.
on hyperdrive.
Yeah.
Don't you
I don't
think
think
she's
he was
one of the
ready.
front runners?
No. He wasn't ready. That's
He
why
wasn't
he
ready
leaned
to
in
say,
and
"I
kissed
love
her.
you."
You're right, Brittany.
But he can't say that yet. He's got all these other women on the line.
Listen, the guy has been married to his high school girlfriend. He doesn't have any experience with women except for whatever dating he did, in the 5 years since his wife passed. So he's been a dating toddler. You can bet your booty he is a bachelor toddler because he probably never even watched the show.
So listen to this. So Gerry cuts off Ellen, who tells him, I'm starting to fall in love with you. I haven't felt this, blah, blah. And he cuts her off with a kiss. But then he says, I feel it. I feel your emotion and I'm in the same place.
Right, but not, that's that's a great older person way of getting out
Makes
of it.
me think back to the last time that someone looked at me like that and said those words.
Yeah.
I never thought I would see it again, and yet I am. I mean, that gives her every indication.
I was real sorry he sent April home, the chicken lady, and the lady who faked the injury to nestle against him, but I think she terrified him. April. She too much woman.
I don't feel like she was that into him either.
No.
I agree.
I think she likes younger guys, is what I was picking up.
And she could get him.
Yeah.
Or chicken.
And then the other gal who just went out and said, you know what? I
like that. The lady who cried when she tried on the wedding dress, she also is a widow.
And she just said, I'm sensing there's no connection here, and I just want to let you off the hook. And he says, you're right.
Yeah. Nice.
I refuse to learn her name.
Same.
And she had a stress fracture, and it was barely covered.
Was it Nancy? Nancy said she got to the point.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
Who went home? Yeah. Anyway.
So let's get to the rose ceremony. Everyone gets it except for Kathy and April and the one that already went home.
Yeah.
So now we're seeing next week. Brittany,
We have 6
gut
ladies.
feeling.
We have Ellen, the pickleball ace, Faith, who frets about her lack of Gerry time, Susan.
She rode in on the motorcycle the first night.
Susan, who looks like Kris Jenner, Leslie, the ATV from here, Teresa, which the first date lady, and then Sandra, lactose intolerant, missed her daughter's wedding, the funniest one on the show.
Okay,
that's who's left. And then the teaser, we get a peek at hometowns. I'm going to say right now it's Ellen, Leslie, and Teresa on hometowns.
What do you think, Brittany?
I think Faith, Teresa, and I'm going to go Leslie.
Well, we already know Leslie because we saw the ABC film crew on the Stone Arch Bridge in March.
So you're thinking fake. You don't think Teresa's getting a hometown. I kind of am with you.
Really?
No, you
said
said
Teresa.
You said Ellen, Leslie, and Faith.
No, I said Teresa, Leslie, and Faith.
Oh, so you don't think Ellen's even getting one?
No.
Really? Am I?
Well, we did see that in a teaser. Brittany.
What did we see?
Didn't we see Ellen bawling like a baby and then Gerry bawling like a baby saying he swore, he stands up. We've seen this in every trailer. I'm out of here. And I think he does send Ellen home. I think you're right, Brittany. And
I'm
they're
already
both very
devastated.
sad about it.
I'm going to quit watching.
Oh,
Well,
don't.
Ellen plays pickleballs 4 times a day, so I think she'll be over it eventually.
Well, she's got a lot of oxytocins going. She's got the sunshine in Florida.
And she lives in Florida and isn't willing to move to Indiana.
Did they ask her?
I'm just saying that's where Gerry lives.
Okay, what about the lady who went home the very first night because her daughter was having complications?
I kind of hope she comes back next week for drama.
Yes.
I think so too.
You think it'll happen?
Yeah, because they've done this before where somebody had to emergency leave and they brought him back and they had a connection.
Right,
Yeah.
they did. They did. And her daughter was having a baby, so she's already had the baby. She could come back.
All right, so
this has been so
don't you
good.
think this show is the best thing?
Oh, I'm in love. I love this. This is the highlight of my day.
It's emotional and it's real. It's sort of real.
It'll give you hope, children.
I think they're all beautiful.
I do
and I want to
too.
watch them in the fantasy room.
Yeah, I'm so bugged
I
by
can't
Teresa, though. She bugs me so bad.
Yeah.
She's the one that bugs me. Whatever.
All right, Brittany, thank you.
tattletaled.
Happy Friday.
Mwah.